had been brought under control. And I'll read his tweet. He wrote, "Current situation report on the Odoiya-Alaro Bridge, Maryland, as at 11 a.m. today, 9th of September, 2025, after the heavy early morning rainfall, a testimony to the great work being undertaken by operatives of the Emergency Flood Abatement Gang from the Lagos State Ministry of the Environment and Water Resources." Play a clip of that. There you have it. Rufai was saying, in all fairness, this dried up on time. But on Monday evening, a team of workers from the Emergency Flood Abatement Gang, if we can pull up that video, visited the site and unplugged the outlets to allow the water flow. So you could see it was a clogged outlet, and it appeared that, for me, I thought for a second, is this climate change? What's happening? Look at the bridge. Look at water. It looked like some sort of, tsunami had happened the day before, but it was a clogged outlet, and now the water has flooded. I'm glad that they responded quickly. Well, following the severe flooding, the Minister of Works, Engineer Dave Umahi, inspected the third mainland bridge, revealing that underwater assessments show significant structural decay. Umahi attributed the structural decay to saltwater penetration, illegal sand mining, and neglect. He said the government is considering a full rehabilitation of the bridge, which would cost around 3.8 trillion naira, or a new construction price at 3.6 trillion naira. The Ministry of Works plans to address the bridge's issues and the city's overall flood problems by inviting contractors to bid on the project. Ayo, this all initiative they're all part of a broader effort, like the Minister of Works has said, to improve drainage and infrastructure and to also prevent, future flooding. But we saw, it's good to see that the Minister of Works responded. He went to the third mainland bridge, and of course the Commissioner for Water Resources, posting up that video to show, like Rufai said, the water cleared up really quickly.
Yeah, that's good, and that's what we would like to see. Responsiveness from people who ought to be accountable to the people, public service, the public service sector, splendor or otherwise, that happened following the heavy downpour yesterday. And the truth is,
Monday too. This video, this flooding occurred
on Monday. Okay,
yes.
Yesterday as well, we had Lagos was also on almost standstill as a result of flooding. Now, this flooding happens every year in the state, and this is because of, like you mentioned, a number of factors, including our closeness to the sea. However, what we've often called for is responsiveness and a proactive move by the government to ensure that they are able to prevent incidents of flooding like this. I think it's a good thing that the commissioner went and, intervened in that situation. But I think even more importantly going forward is to see how we can prevent putting the state to a standstill whenever we have heavy downpour. The moment you start hearing heavy rain, everybody's shaking because you know that it's going to bring economic activities to a standstill. I'm hoping that there will be more efforts, like Rufai, you mentioned, yesterday was a quick response, on Monday, quick response, and also we didn't have to suffer for too long. But I know some places that are still flooded as we speak currently, so more work needs to be done. And it's going to happen again. Where we will fall next year, it falls every year. We know these things. Let us plan and have a master plan to ensure that we're able to tackle flooding in the state.
There's continuous update on the X-handle of the commissioner. The X-handle of the Commissioner of Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, so you can actually go there and see all of the measures that have been taken to help the flooding or to resolve the flooding situation in our Eco City.
When we say aquatic splendor, we just want it on the sea. We don't want it on our road.
Yes, well done, well done, well done.
Great.
Well, all right. Well, take another story now. Activist Omoyele Sowore, who has been making headlines over a tweet he made on X, in which he called President Bola Ahmed Tinubu a criminal, revealed on Tuesday that presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanuga privately messaged him on WhatsApp, asking him to delete the post According to Sowore, the post was in response to Tinubu's claim in Brazil that there was no more corruption in Nigeria. Onanuga argued that Sowore had misinterpreted the president's statement, insisting that Tinubu was only referring to transparency in foreign exchange sourcing. Sowore rejected the request, stating that it was an attempt to dictate how citizens should interpret public statements, and accused Onanuga of being complicit in the harassment of critics by state security services. He wrote in part, "What is more troubling is that in Nigeria today, anyone who dares to criticize the president is instantly subjected to harassment by the DSS, political thugs, and every coercive instrument the state can muster. I once thought perhaps you were unaware of such abuse, but it is now clear you are complicit. In this regard, it is you who has misfired. Your request reflects not only poor judgment, but also the mindset of the principle you represent." Well, Sowore went on to state that he has known Onanuga for decades, even during the time that his student union days, and also as a publisher. And I'll take reactions to this tweet. And this is from Olaiya, who wrote, "This is classic Tinubu era. Do not criticize the king. Politics by Onanuga trying to privately police public opinion is exactly the problem. They want to control the narrative and the citizen. The truth is simple. If the president's statement was clear, Nigerians wouldn't have misinterpreted it. Leadership is not about ambiguity or hiding behind aides to explain away words and dragging the DSS into every critic's shadow. It's proof of how intolerant and insecure this government has become. Instead of threatening or cajoling citizens to delete posts, Tinubu's team should focus on deleting corruption, deleting poverty, and deleting the hardship choking Nigerians daily. That's the real misfire here." Well, another ex-user wrote, "Brotherly," we know where brotherly came from, "Brotherly, good day. No well-meaning person would say you should not criticize the president or any public official for that matter. However, you can't call the president of your country, or anyone for that matter, a criminal when no court of law has pronounced such. Or are you a judge?" And that's the real question here. "We appreciate your usual courage, but we'll advise you to embrace greater objectivity and maturity. You are a role model to some youth. Be blessed." Another ex-user wrote, "And later now, you will be advocating for infringement of Nigerians' rights. Haven't you infringed on someone's right of privacy by leaking his private chat with you? You would have issued a public statement to still demand the deletion. He chose to go private, and you leaked it." And the reason this ex-user is stating this is because in Omoyele Sowore's tweet there, he had leaked Bayo Onanuga's private WhatsApp chat. And that was the response from that. Here you go. He had leaked that chat, which, a lot of ex-users, and even myself, I question, why would Sowore actually leak this? Because this was a private message. But I don't even understand what happened to Bayo Onanuga. The DSS has intervened here. I mean, I know there's some sort of relationship that they might have. Sowore has insisted that he is not going to delete this tweet. Dr. Abati, I don't know why Bayo Onanuga would have thought that Sowore would even, abide by or listen to him in the first place.
Okay, both men involved are doing their job.
Yes.
Sowore is an activist. He's a resilient, confirmed activist who has even served notice that the struggle continues.
The struggle continues.
Whatever anybody says or does to him. So he has lived up to his declaration that he's a sworn enemy of convention. Or is it government? I hope I'll be right to say that. So whatever Mr. Onanuga says to him, you already know where he stands.
He's not going to respond.
By the same measure, Mr. Onanuga is doing his job. He's the vuvuzela of the administration. He's a spokesperson. So he will say, well, this thing you have said about the president is not right. The president of Nigeria is not a criminal. In other words, there's no court of law who has declared the president a criminal. Integrity, their right to the dignity of the human person. You cannot just come and say Mr. X or Y is a criminal when he has not been so declared by a court of law. And that's why, the Cybercrime Act, Section 24, 1822, was cited, by the DSS. Now, in this matter, X, that's the platform, said, look, okay, the man is, we will not pull down the post. But you now find Mr. Onanuga saying, well, as a citizen, President Tinubu is not a criminal. So in both cases, I think that both men are doing their job. But what we should know within the public space is that while citizens have the right to express themselves, they also have the responsibility to respect the rights of other people.
Yes.
So that's where we strike a balance in this particular matter. Right. And as for Minister Umahi coming to Lagos to show empathy, to look at the flooding situation, I think that the lesson in Umahi's example is that when you put a man who is a specialist in that area, he's a civil engineer, so he knows about engineering, he's not relying on contractors. When something happens, he goes there himself to go and look at it, and he can, on his own, offer professional opinion
very good.
About design, about construction, about issues. I think I like that. This idea of putting touts in important positions, appointing carpenters into positions. No, I'm not mentioning anybody.
I think
I'm just saying when government makes appointment, it's always good to put the right person in the right position.
Yeah, because he's an engineer.
And I think Dave Umahi fits that prescription as a good example.
Fantastic, good point.
So real quickly, as regards to Sowore and what's it called? Debacle.
Yes.
So, Mr. Onanuga, what the DSS is saying, they were happy on the criminal word, which I've condemned, which I've said it wasn't fine to call the president, criminal. But Mr. Onanuga was happy on the fact that, this has been said, that had been said. With due respect, yes. I don't think it was right for Sowore to have put that private message out there. And I'll say this. They have a history together. Sowore stated that in the days of the struggle, these people, they were both in the same struggle. Mr. Onanuga's paper, The News, was a platform for most of the student activists. In fact, Sowore said he did some work with The News, Mr. Onanuga platform. The reason why Mr. Onanuga probably would have messaged him is out of the fact that, okay, I know this guy before and everything. Yes. What Mr. Onanuga, although, was saying was different from what the DSS was saying, so it's two different things. And I don't know why this government is, happy and saying, and people are contacting Sowore and saying, remove it. And if they feel very strongly about it, we can all go and test it in courts.
Yes.
Really, I think that's the end. The end, Lukman Cinema, the end, all of it will be in courts. We go and test it in courts.
Yes.
And Sowore will have to prove why he called the president names. The claim he called him a criminal. You have to provide his evidence, and the DSS will provide their counter evidence. So, but prior to that, I think since you have known this person before, you've had dealings before, even if he sent you a personal message out of what you shared, it was not necessary bringing out in publicly. But I don't even know what is even happening. There are many things that happen that we don't know in this country.
Well, in Sowore's favor, he said he cleared with Mr. Onanuga.
But Mr. Onanuga never replied. He never replied.
That's not
so if he didn't reply you and didn't give you the
Yeah.
chance to share it publicly, then there was no point. And even at that, Dr. Abati, we are human beings. We have
friends,
personal relationship
yes.
before
So-
now.
so-
If we have things before, we should,
it was
we should
based
not.
on. It wasn't based on the official. It was based on we have a relationship. Let's reason together. That was
But Sowore says the struggle continues.
That's why I was asking by Onanuga. Why did you think that message will help? This is what Sowore does. He's a strong opposition. What does he say? Revolution now. Well, all right. The struggle continues. We'll follow up on the story. We'll take another story now. Former presidential candidate Peter Obi has resumed his public engagements after a brief health-related break. Peter Obi confirmed his return in a post on X, where he shared details of a visit to a luxury fashion brand in Lagos. Obi used the opportunity to advocate for the support of small and medium-sized enterprises, emphasizing their role in shifting Nigeria from a consumption-based economy to a production-based one, elevating poverty and fostering the country as a hub for creativity and trade. He wrote in part, "Yesterday, I visited Maison de Helen Factory, a proudly Nigerian luxury fashion brand that has existed since 1990 under the visionary designer Helen Unuale, who learned this talent from her mother and has now passed this visionary talent to her daughter, Elise Unuane. Studies have consistently shown that SMEs are the backbone of any economy, especially for developing nations. Globally, the textile and apparel industry is valued at $1.7 trillion and employs over 300 million people. Nigeria is yet to fully tap into this. MDH provides direct and indirect employment of over 50 young Nigerians and can do more with more investment and support." I loved that tweet. Well, Peter Obi also talked about how, in countries like Bangladesh, textiles account for over 70% of exports, which is about $50 billion. He said that amount is more than what Nigeria earns from oil, emphasizing how textiles can drive growth, create jobs, and power exports in an economy. Absolutely. I really, really love that. And I wanted to highlight this story because, we have to encourage the textile industry. Yes. Made in Nigeria goods, made in Nigeria fabrics. And I am actually wearing one. I'm wearing Clan. This is Clan. And she's the daughter of Diola Sego. Yeah. And we have to continue to, encourage these SMEs, and which is what, presidential candidate Peter Obi is saying.
Yeah. Well, first of all, welcome back. I'm glad that his health, he went off based on medical advice, and to see him back is good.
Yes.
First of all, we want a strong opposition in Nigeria. Yes. I must say that. It is healthy for any democracy, and also it helps to highlight salient issues in the economy, one of which is what he was talking about there, and he demonstrated it by visiting a small business, particularly in the textile industry.
Correct.
We've often talked about the revenue that Nigeria loses by not investing and focusing on an industry that used to thrive, especially even with us exporting some of our indigenous fabric. I know some states, like Ogun State, for instance, are pushing for the Adire fabric and trying to make an industry out of that, which is very commendable. But in speaking about how our SMEs, our small businesses can do well and contribute significantly to the economy, absolutely true. Recall that this administration in itself has been hammering on non-oil revenue from non-oil sector, so that we are able to diversify our income sources. Yes. This is absolutely correct. What happens when you invest in small and medium-scale enterprises? Number one is that you create jobs. Mm-hmm. He talked about Elsie employing about 50 people in her staff, and imagine if she were able to scale up, able to attract investor by an environment, a business environment that supports businesses. This administration under Dr. Jumoke Oduwole has tried to engage with SMEs a lot. But I think it is important to understand that there are still a lot of barriers to small businesses thriving in Nigeria, whether it be the exchange rate, whether it be access to infrastructure, power, electricity they have to fend for themselves, making their prices high and not being able to compete favorably with their counterparts around the world. So it's just drawing back to the important role that they play in society, and to ensure that the government is able to harness this potential that has been underutilized.
Well, only 30 seconds, please.
I think the main story is about Peter Obi's health pause.
Yes.
He said he was advised by his doctors to rest after he saw that his body was showing him some signs.
Yes.
And I think that is an important lesson for everybody.
I like that.
Not just people in public affairs, also people in the professions, including people on this table, that you listen to your body.
If you want to
I
know where you are going with this message.
And you listen to your doctors. Because these days we have something they call the sudden death syndrome. You see a lot of people, they will just collapse. One doctor, patriotic doctor, died after working non-stop for 72 hours. So you have Mr. Peter Obi saying, his doctor asked him to rest. And then he decided to take a pause. There are people who will tell their doctor that I was in church yesterday. My pastor saw a vision that I will live till 100. And they would rather listen to their pastor than listen to
I
the
like
doctor.
that.
Dr. Abati,
So
do you listen to your doctor?
Yes. No, but
listen
he's
to-
Dr. Abati, do you listen to
I
your
will take a
doctor?
pause.
Dr. Abati, your leave is not approved.
No, you people
No, it's
are
not
not
approved.
But what
You're
I'm
not
just
going
saying is
anywhere.
that people
I'm just
should
joking.
prioritize
Yes, I like that.
their health.
Yeah. Well
Health is
said.
wealth.
Yeah. Nigeria First policy. I like that policy as well. Kudos, Peter Obi. Well, let's take this story now from Kebbi State. It's an update to a story we brought to you yesterday. In a new report from activist and journalist Dan Bello, the Kebbi State Governor, Dr. Nasiru Idris, is being accused of arresting a journalist, Hassan Maye Waya Kangiwa, who was reported to have made the shocking video showing an elderly man laying on a bed frame without a mattress in a desolate room while receiving treatment at the Kangiwa General Hospital in the state. Well, according to Dan Bello, the journalist had to run from his home due to threats, but is now in police detention. Users on social media have condemned the journalist's detention and are now demanding his immediate release. I mean, I cannot believe this story. Rufai, we took this story yesterday and we were calling for a response. But that dilapidated hospital and why they are subjecting our Nigerians to this sort of hardship. And we're hearing that this man who made the video has been arrested, Rufai.
They will not
What is
respond to
happening?
you or G because there's no leadership accountability. We are running a demonstration of grace. So when citizen journalism comes into place and reveals such a thing like this, that the governor ought to do something about, they will go and follow the messenger and arrest the messenger and use the same police that are suffering the same scourge of this country to arrest. That's why sometimes I believe you should arrest protest too. Because the man, he speaks a lot of facts. That's the exact country we live in. So when you now ask the police, on what did they arrest now? They will say cybercrime charges.
What?
That's why it's...
He didn't say anything.
No, but they will tell you cybercrime charges. They will say
He just showed the
They
video.
will say it's leaking state secrets. In fact, they will quote one act in a draconian military law and put the law there. Because you see, law in this country, they use it to victimize people. It's only in this country that law and courts does not catch rich and elite people. It's only the poor man. Please release that man. Oh.
Yes.
Release that man. We beg you, whoever you are as governor. And quickly attend to this. Because if we look at your state budget now, you will have budget for healthcare. But you can see people, the man is sleeping on bare metal. And that's the country we live. They will say cybercrime. They will fight charges again. You know the next thing they will do now? If we talk too much, the next thing they will do, you go and put charges and rush him to court.
No.
And tell the judges to hurt him. You see, that's why, plus judiciary, plus all the systems of government, plus the... It's a joke we run in this country. And you know what pains me the most?
Yeah.
The same people that call the military bad, that they said they fought against the military, they are the ones in power today. They are doing way worse than what the military did.
The governor was quite active with the teachers' union.
You see life? You see life? They are
The
doing
Kebbi
way.
State
You
governor.
see life? They are doing way worse than what the
he's-
military
So
is.
I haven't seen him in the news lately, and I can't imagine that this is what is bringing him in the news.
In fact,
but we need a response.
In fact, during the military, we had activist judges. People still believe in the judiciary.
Yes,
But
all right.
today, the same people that the activist judges favor them, we scrutinize and want.
All right.
The time is going.
I'm looking for the journalist. His name is Hassan. We need a report from the Kebbi State's government house, the spokesperson for the governor, because this is what Dan Bello, Hassan Kangiwa. We're demanding a report from the Kebbi State government
soon tell you
house
it's fake news,
on
Oji.
why he is being detained. Well, all right. In another development, tension is running high in Onitsha, Anambra State, where we are learning new details about the reported tragic and sudden killing of a pregnant woman and 3 others by the Operation Clean and Healthy Anambra Brigade, also known as the Ocha Brigade. One eyewitness said the incident began when traders in the market were displaying their goods when Ocha officers came and asked them to move their product. This led to an altercation, with officers ultimately opening fire. Let's take a look. Dr. Abati, look at what we are seeing from Anambra State.
Well, very briefly. The Ocha Brigade is for sanitation, I think.
Yes.
I think they are
clean and healthy Anambra.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
No, they said it's a state run just for...
Yes.
It's a
Operation
sanitation
Clean and Healthy
brigade.
Anambra, that's what it means.
You know, the one court once outlawed, you know, this special Saturday thing.
Yeah.
But what they have in Anambra is a sanitation brigade to keep the markets clean. What I don't understand is why this sanitation brigade will be carrying pump action guns. In fact, I think somebody was even saying they were asking to carry AK-47. You don't have to carry guns to get people to be clean, to get people to clean their environment. So while sanitation is a good idea, I think that the Anambra State government should take a second look about this use of arms and ammunition by the Ocha Brigade. And the other part of it is that they should not be allowed to resort to jungle justice. Killing people because of environmental sanitation.
Unacceptable.
I think it's in the extreme.
Yes.
But we ask for investigation.
We do.
We ask for the governor to intervene personally, and that these persons who are guilty of abusing their firearms, which they should not carry in the first place, you know, should be sanctioned appropriately.
A second. You're saying
Just a
something.
second. I was just going to say that why Anambra? Only a few weeks back, we talked about having a chamber in Anambra. So state-sponsored regularly, whether it be for security or for clean and health. The meaning of OCHA is simply Operation Clean and Healthy Anambra.
Yes.
They have no business at all when it has to do with law enforcement. So the governor has a lot to answer with. Why is there so much violence and high-handedness leading to these unnecessary deaths and killings? That's so he has a lot to answer in this regard. Anambra there needs to be sanity.
This is it. This is
Anambra
a call
State.
for Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo. We need a response. One woman, they reported dead and 3 injured. Unacceptable.